Hello, this is the TradeSite Forex Market Preview and International Economic Data Roadmap for the week beginning Sunday the 8th of July and ending Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th, my favorite day, of July 2018. Here's a look at let's start with the dollar index, which is what we usually start with when we're doing the Forex Preview. So it came back a little bit this week after making new highs. Nothing super exciting. Actually, it was a dull week until late in the week. Remember, we had the Wednesday holiday, so this whole week is kind of suspect. Euro dollar, the opposite of the dollar index, so not a big deal there. Pound dollar, also the same as the euro, came back up a little weak. Euro yen, really flat until made new highs on Friday for the last week or month or so. Aussie dollar has not done much. Pound yen inching up, no big deal. Pound Swiss also inching up, but all these were such narrow action overall. New Zealand dollar bounced late in the week. We can just look at the two major pairs here, the euro dollar and the pound yen, pound dollar, to look at 30-minute candles and see what they did for the week. And the euro basically did 170 pips for the week. And, if you're looking at just Monday through Thursday, it was not even 100 pips, and then we made a little pop on Friday. The pound dollar, on the other hand, 180 pips for the week. We did make some money. We had more winning days than losing days, but it was just semi-uneventful from a Forex perspective. And again, we haven't declared summer doldrums yet, which is usually what happens around this time of year, which means we go to half size for the rest of the summer until volume and action starts to pick up. But it's probably coming if it hasn't already hit. So for now, we're going to stay full size and we'll go from there. Let's look at the economic data that's coming out in the week ahead. So we've got Sunday bank lending and current account out of Japan. Going into Monday, economy watcher sentiment out of Japan, unemployment rate out of Switzerland, German trade balance out of Europe. China's got their money supply and new loans. Europe's got their Syntex investor confidence. Got some ECB president speaking. Consumer credit out of the U.S. at 3 p.m. on Monday. Not a big deal. Retail sales out of the U.K., MT money stock out of Japan, NAB business confidence out of Australia, CPI and PPI out of China. Going to Tuesday, preliminary machine tool orders, French industrial production and industrial production, UK GDP, trade balance, construction output, manufacturing production, index of services, and industrial production. So 4:30 a.m. Eastern time on Tuesday is a big moment for the pound. Euro, zoo economic sentiment in the broad for Germany and the broad European sectors. NIESR GDP estimate out of the UK. Housing starts and building permits out of Canada. JOLTS job openings here in the U.S. Core machinery orders and PPI out of Japan. Westpac consumer sentiment out of Australia, along with home loans. Going into Wednesday, tertiary industry activity out of Japan. German 10-year bond auction. Core PPI here in the U.S. We already had the CPI and the unemployment claims this last week, by the way, so those are done. We've got the rate announcement out of Bank of Canada. Wholesale inventories here in the U.S. at 10 a.m. Eastern time on Wednesday. Then crude oil inventories 30 minutes later. 10-year bond auction at 1 p.m. FPI out of New Zealand at 6:45. RICS housing price balance. MI inflation expectations out of Australia. Now we're going to Thursday, 2 a.m. Eastern time. German final CPI, French final CPI, industrial production out of all of Europe, Euro group meetings, ECB monetary policy meeting accounts. CPI out of the U.S., that's one of our big three, so it'll be half size Wednesday night going into Thursday, along with the weekly initial and continuing jobless claims numbers. Natty gas an hour late at 10:30. 30-year bond auction, Fed budget balance, trade balance out of China, revised industrial production out of Japan, German WPI out of Europe, PPI out of Switzerland, import-export prices here in the U.S., the preliminary University of Michigan sentiment at 10 o'clock on Friday, and then the Fed monetary policy report. So, overall, you got the CPI and we got the Bank of Canada doing their rate announcement. There's a lot of data, but none of it's super consequential. So that is it. We will trade accordingly. And if we feel like really the ranges are just dying off because it's summer, we'll go half size for summer and pick it back up at some point after August. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken the trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading week.